Have you been struggling to create content that converts and gets you customers for your business? Then this webinar is for you. Welcome to the Digital Marketing Refresher Webinar 2026. This webinar has been brought to you by Crenovate Technologies, and I will be your host. My name is Jonathan Thuo. I am an expert who exists in the intersection in business, marketing, and technology. In short, I am a tech savvy business strategist with over a decade of extensive experience in matters technology, business, and marketing. I am the founder of a firm called Crenovate Technologies, where I am also the lead trainer and a digital branding and marketing consultant. So, after this video or during this video, if you feel that you need some help, either coming up with a digital strategy, a marketing strategy, a digital marketing training for your team, or just a simple online analysis and consultation, then feel free to reach out to us via our email that will be shared during this particular webinar or that is in the description notes of this video on YouTube. I am also the marketing director of a company called Quality Locks Kenya, but for the sake of this webinar today, I am here as a digital marketing trainer. Welcome to this particular webinar, and without further ado, we're going to get started. Now, we'd love to know, how do you currently get potential customers? When you think about your business, you obviously have a product or a service that you're selling. You sell this to someone who would be interested in buying your product or service. But how do you get access to this potential customer, to this potential lead? How do you get access to contacts who will later become your customers? I'll give you 1 minute to think about it. Now that you've thought about it, there are some people who say they get their new contacts from referrals. Some will say they get their new contacts from social media. Some get their new contacts from cold calling. Some get their new contacts from events and networking. And some get their contacts from advertisements online. So we all get our contacts in different ways or in different from different sources. So in today's webinar, we're going to understand how to set up your business for success, how to create content that converts, and how to target the right customer. Okay. And with this, we're going to help you come up with a strategy that you can set up for your business for the next 30 days. Without further ado, let me show you the itinerary for today's webinar. We're going to have two sections to this particular webinar in terms of two videos. So on YouTube, you're going to see that there's a video section 1 and video section 2. In video section 1, we're going to cover part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this particular webinar, which will be covering the digital reality stats and trends, the digital business model, and the digital reach strategies. That will be in section 1, video 1. And in section 2, video 2, we will have part 4 and part 5 of this webinar, which is content that converts and the compass framework. Lastly, we'll finalize by looking at what are some of the next steps that you should take to set your business up for success when it comes to digital marketing. So let's jump right into part 1, which is digital trends, stats and reality of the digital landscape. So, in this particular topic 1, which is digital reality, stats and trends, we want to begin by understanding what is digital marketing and what is this digital platform that we're talking about. So, what is digital marketing? Digital marketing is any form of marketing that uses an electronic device and can convey a promotional message and measure its impact through your customer journey. So, what we mean by this is any form of marketing campaign or any form of marketing promotional material that happens on an electronic device, whether this be your smartphone, your laptop, your smart television, your smart watch, your smart tablet, your smart TV or your fridge, your smart home devices. All these are electronic devices that can be used to communicate a promotional marketing message. Then that is what we call digital marketing. Some basic examples of digital marketing typically refer to campaigns that appear on computers, on phones, on tablets, or other digital devices. It can take many forms, including online video, display advertisements, the type we see on YouTube, search engine marketing, the advertisement on the Google search engine result pages, paid social media advertisements that we see when you're browsing through social media, and social media posts that are organic and that we consume on our day to day activities on social networks. Now, why is digital marketing so important? Digital marketing is important because consumers today are accessing digital information through many devices and many channels. But with digital marketing, you can be able to one, target specific groups. Let's say you have a boutique store somewhere in Nairobi and you sell physical items or products. You want this store to be seen by people within Nairobi and let's say a radius of 20 kilometers around Nairobi. With digital marketing, you can be able to specify that. You can say that I want my advert to be seen by people within this shop location and a radius of 20, 30 kilometers. Or I want my business advert to be seen by people in the major towns in Kenya. So that's Nairobi town, Mombasa town, Nakuru town, Eldoret town, Kisumu town, you know. Or you can decide that I want my advert to be seen by people between the ages of 20 to 25, or 25 to 30, or 30 to 35. You can decide that you want your advert to be seen by males only or females only, or to be seen by people who are only in the job title of manager, you know. So with digital marketing, you can target specific groups, whether that will be geographical location, whether that will be age set, whether that will be job title, whether that will be interest. You are the one to determine how you'd like to target that particular group. Secondly, you can reduce your marketing costs. Now, the advertisement cost on traditional media, the newspapers, the magazines, the television is very expensive. However, with digital marketing, posting on social media is free. And even when you have a budget attached to your online activities, you're the one who sets the amount you want to spend. So you can decide that I want to spend $10 this week to advertise my product, or I want to spend $100 or $1,000. You're the one who decides how much you want to spend. Okay. So with digital marketing, there are cheaper methods of advertising when you have a budget, and even when you don't have a budget, you can still advertise online. You can create content on social media. You can promote it using hashtags so that it goes to the right people, but there's no budget attached to that particular campaign. Thirdly, you can analyze campaign results in detail. You can see that 1,000 people saw my advert, 100 of them came to my website because of that advert, 50 of them have purchased this product, and out of the 50 who've purchased, we've been able to deliver this product to all 50 of them. So with online advertising, it's very easy for you to track the engagement on your campaigns and to track the effectiveness of your activities online, as opposed to advertisement on a newspaper where you'd not be able to know how many people have seen that advertisement, how many people have come to your shop because of that advertisement, and how many people have bought from you because of that advertisement. It might be harder to track. Lastly, the fourth advantage of online marketing or digital marketing is that you can engage in conversations with your customers. Let's say that you do branding and you do branding for corporates. Let's say you brand such nice notebooks. And I've seen this notebook and I love it. And I'm like, wow, how can I get a notebook like this for my business? I can come to your page and I can ask you a question. Hi, my business is called Safaricom and we usually have a theme of green color. Can you be able to print out notebooks in color green for us? Or my business is DTB Bank. We have our red color as our theme color. Can we have red colored notebooks? You know, So through that conversation, you can lead me to a sale where you can tell me, yes, we can come up with, if you want blue notebooks, if you want green notebooks, if you want red notebooks, we can manufacture that for you. We can print that out for you. So don't worry, we have all varieties. Now I'll be convinced that I can now come to you and buy. So that engagement can happen on online digital channels, but it's very hard to happen on traditional channels. If someone sees a billboard of a red car, they can't ask you, can I get that in green? Can I get that in blue? Can I get that in silver? But when I see that advertisement of a red car on Facebook, I can reach out to the advertiser and I can ask them, is this available in white? Is this available in silver? Is this available in maybe Subaru red or metallic blue? Something like that. So this is the benefit of digital marketing. You can target specific groups, you can reduce your marketing budget and cost, you can analyze campaign results in detail, and lastly, you can engage in conversations with your customers. Now that we have a proper understanding of what digital marketing is and what benefits digital marketing has for your business, the next thing I want us to look at are the digital trends, the facts and the statistics around this digital area, this landscape. How does it look like? What opportunities are there for you? And you're going to begin by looking at the total populations, the global populations. Now, this report that you're looking at is the latest digital snapshot report, and it gives us a summary of reports from over 8 different firms, international firms that collect data about internet use and device use. So when you look at this, we're looking at the latest report. It might show that it was released in October 2025, but this is the latest report that we have for this data online. Now, this report shows us that by October 2025, the total population of planet Earth was 8.25 billion people. And out of 8.25 billion people, how many unique mobile phone subscribers were there? There were 5.7 billion unique mobile phone subscribers, which accounts for 70% of the total population. And out of the 8.25 billion people, 6 billion people are already individuals using the internet. So 73% of people all over the world are already accessing and using the internet. So if you're not online, imagine that this is potential your business is losing. This is visibility. This is trust. This is conversion. These are potential customers, potential sales that you're losing out on just because you are not online. How many social media user identities are there? 5.6 billion social media user identities. So 68% of the population is using social media. Now, as we look at that global population, I want us to also look at the rate of growth within these particular verticals. In terms of total population, there was a growth of 69 million new births in the last 1 year, 12 months up until this report was released. Within that particular period of 1 year, 69 million people were born, 108 million people signed up for their first mobile device or are mobile phone subscribers. 294 million people started using the internet for the first time. Now, I just want you to pause there and to think, when was the first time you started using the internet? When was the first time you actually started using the internet? Is it when you had cyber cafes and you'd walk in there and created your first Facebook account? Did you use your parents' smartphone device and you used that as your first interaction with the internet? Was it at school? Did you have a computer lab? And you went to the computer lab and you accessed the internet for the first time. So imagine that over the last 1 year, 294 million people started using the internet for the first time. This is over 4 times the rate of actual population growth. So it shows that more people are joining to start using the internet than even the number of people who are being born. Okay. And how many new social media user identities were created last year? That is 259 million new social media user identities were created in the last 1 year. So what you're observing is the number of people using the internet is growing at a tremendous rate every single year. As we look at this population, can we now break down that population into different regions and find out which region has the largest population? Now, when we look at regional population demographic, we can see that the most populous region in the world is Southern Asia with 2 trillion people. The second most populous area is Eastern Asia with 1.6 trillion people. And then the third most populous region is Southeastern Asia with 700 million people. After the Asias, the most populated region is Eastern Africa with 516 million people. Then Western Africa with 469 million people. And then now we come to the North America with 388 million people. Okay, so what I want us to notice is this. In Africa, we usually think the best situation would be for us to be selling our products and services to the American market. It's the largest market, the European market. Those are some of the ideal markets that we usually look up to when we are from the African continent. But what I want us to observe is this: save for the Asia, if we remove the Asias out of our picture, then the next most populous areas or regions are in Africa. When you combine East Africa, 500 million people, West Africa, 469 million people, and Middle Africa, 221 million people, as well as Southern Africa with 74 million people, we already have a market of over a billion people, which is almost 3 times what the North American market could give us. So when you look at this particular distribution of population by region, what I want us to see is that there's so much potential here in Africa. The East African market is over half a billion. We combine that with the West African market and the South African market, we already look at over a billion customers. This is a huge market, and I want us to look at some more key details when it comes to this geographic population or regional population, right? So when we look at the rate of annual growth, we first observe that the global rate of growth is at 0.8% growth annually. However, areas like the Europes, Western Europe is already facing a population decline at 0.1% annually. Southern Europe is already experiencing a population decline at 0.3% annually. Eastern Europe, a decline, 0.2% population decline annually. When you look at now the Asias, where we had the largest population, Southern Asia is growing at 1% annual growth. Eastern Asia is declining at 0.2% annual growth, and the growth of population in Southeastern Asia is at a mere 0.7%. However, when we come to the population growth in Africa, Eastern Africa has an annual population growth of 2.5%. Middle Africa has the highest population growth at 3%, and Western Africa has a population growth of 2.2%. So what you're observing is Africa has the largest population growth in any region globally. So this is so important to us because it helps us to see which area has the fastest growing population, and in the near future will dominate the market. So you can easily see that Africa has the fastest or the largest annual population growth rate, and this is something that showcases that in the near future, our population will be some of the largest in the world. Okay. Now, which region has the youngest population? This is important because it advises us on where is the market going. Right now, we can look at the median age and you can observe that the global median age is at 30 years. However, North America median age is at 38 years, above the global median age. The median age in Northern Europe is 40 years, median age in Western Europe 43 years, median age in Southern Europe 46 years, median age in the Asia, Southern Asia is 27 years, Southeastern Asia 30 years, Eastern Asia 41 years. But when we come to Africa, Let's look at Africa again. The Eastern Africa median age is 18 years. The Middle Africa median age is 16 years. The Western Africa median age is 18 years. Even Southern Africa, the median age is still below the global age, median age of 30 years at 27 years. So we're observing that this African region, the the Eastern Africa, the Middle Africa, the West Africa, and the Southern Africa, they have some of the sizable populations already. They have the fastest population growth rate and they have the youngest population. So, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, in the next 30 years, these are the people who are going to move out of the education system and move into the economic system. They are going to get their first jobs, they're going to get their first salaries, they're going to start spending, they're going to increase the purchasing power of their economies, and they are going to be the people who are contributing to this economy. As opposed to the countries and the regions where we can already see they have an aged population. In the next 10, 20 years, the regions where they have a median age of 40 years, those 40-year-olds will now be at 60. They'll be retiring. They'll be looking at the economy to support them. They'll not be the ones supporting the economy. So when it comes to the areas where we are looking at the markets growing and the economies booming within the next decades, this will probably be in Africa. So the entrepreneurs who are in Africa right now, the founders, the problem solvers, the marketers, the salespeople in Africa, I want you to understand the size of this market, the potential of this market, the amazing opportunities that are laying bear for us in this African market. Please, let's open our eyes to this, okay? Now that we looked at the population statistics, let's move to the next level, which is what are the devices that people are using to access the internet. When it comes to the device ownership share, the percentage of internet users aged 16 and above who are using various devices to access the internet, this is what we have observed. That 97% of internet users have some type of mobile phone, whether it's a feature phone or a smartphone. Whereas 97.4% of internet users have a smartphone. So, when you are asked which is the most used device to access the internet, 97% of internet users are accessing it using a smartphone. So, if you're creating a website for your customers, if you're creating a landing page for your customers, if you're creating any form of online asset for your customers, always remember that most people accessing the internet are going to use their smartphone. After the smartphone, laptops come in at 56% of internet users. And then TVs, smart TVs come in at 49% of internet users. And tablets are only used by 33% of internet users. After tablets, now we go to smartwatch or smart wrist devices, where we have the smartphones operating at 27% of the internet user market. We have gaming consoles owned by 18% of the internet user market. Smart home devices occupy 17% of the market. TV streaming devices 17% of the market, sorry, and smart wristbands at 13% of the market. So this just shows us what devices are being used and in what proportions. Next, we want to see what type of media are people accessing on the internet? So when it comes to media that is accessed on the internet, media use, we can see that 91% of people accessing the internet are going to watch some format of video, online video, whether it's short format video on social media or long format video on vlogs like YouTube or podcasts. 91% of internet users are going to watch video. 88% of internet users are going to social media. 86% of internet users are watching short format videos on uh, internet platforms like TikTok, Facebook, etc. 85% of internet users are consuming some format of TV, whether that is streaming TV or broadcast TV. 81% of internet users are accessing some form of press or press information or news information. 79% of internet users are accessing long format videos on vlogs, podcasts, and all that. Okay. 77% of internet users are accessing online press. 73% of internet users are accessing linear or broadcast TV, whereas 75% of internet users are accessing music streaming services, the Spotify, the Apple Music, all that. Okay. Next, at video games, any format of video games, 72% of internet users are going online to access video games, whether that is on their smartphone or on gaming consoles. 69% of internet users are accessing streaming TV. 67% of internet users are accessing video games on mobile. 53% of internet users are accessing physical press content. 53% of internet users are also accessing broadcast radio online. And 52% of internet users are accessing podcast media online. And lastly, 49% of internet users are accessing video games on console or on PC or on private computers. So now we are seeing the type of media that people are consuming. And you can see the most popular type of media is video content. So as a business, you need to be asking yourself, how are you creating video content? Where are you creating this video content to position it at? Is it on vlogs, podcasts? Is it on social media, the short format videos? But video is the most prominent format of media that people are consuming online. Next, we want to see what is the amount of time spent with the various types of media. Now, every week, people spend an average of 11 hours and 30 minutes watching videos online, any type of video, okay? And people spend an average of 9 hours 56 minutes watching any form of TV streaming or broadcast TV online. Okay, so 11 hours watching videos, 9 hours of those are watching TV content. 7 hours is spent on social media content. 6 hours 56 minutes is spent on video games as a total. 6 hours 39 minutes is spent on online video short format. 5 hours is spent on streaming television. 4 hours 58 minutes weekly is spent on music streaming. 4 hours 55 minutes weekly is spent on linear or broadcast TV. 4 hours 51 minutes is spent on long format video. Those are the vlogs. 4 hours 36 minutes is spent on some form of press. 4 hours 19 minutes is spent on video games on mobile, and 2 hours 58 minutes is spent on online press. So you can look at the other data, but I won't go too much into that because we can already see that the prominent media that people are spending the most amount of time consuming every week is online video, followed by TV in total, followed by social media. So when you're creating content online, think about how can I create online videos and how can I create social media content. Okay, that is where most people already are consuming their time every single week. Now, I want us to also look at the rate of growth of internet usage. When the first website was published on the 6th of August 1991, we had about 5 million internet users. So let's start with 1992, where we had 6.9 million internet users. From 1992 all the way to 2002, 10 years later, the number of internet users had grown from 6 million to 600 million internet users. Okay? From 2002 all the way to 2012, which is 10 years after that, the number of internet users grew from 600 million to 2 billion internet users. And from 2012 to 2022, which is another 10-year gap, the number of internet users grew from 2 billion to 5.2 billion. It more than doubled. Okay. Now, from 2022 all the way to 2025, we can see that the number of internet users has grown from 5.2 billion all the way to the 6 billion mark. So you can see the rate of growth, and this is what you call almost an exponential growth curve, where the rate of growth is growing tremendously from 2006 all the way to 2025. it has been less than 20 years. But the number of internet users has grown from 1 billion to 6 billion in those 20 years. So that just shows you how fast people are adopting the internet. But even beyond them going online, what are they actually going online to do? So, what are some of the main reasons for using the internet? 60% of people use the internet to find information. So, if you're a business, people are already searching for information. Do you have a blog where you're sharing information? Do you have a YouTube channel where you're sharing information? Do you have a social media account where you're sharing information? 60% of internet users are going online to find information. Okay. 58% of internet users are going online to stay in touch with family and friends. 54% of internet users are going online to watch videos, whether those are TV shows, whether those are movies, whether that is broadcast TV, they are going online to watch videos. 52% of internet users are going online to keep up to date with news and events. 49% of internet users are going online to research on how to do things. Okay. So if you're creating how to content, how to set up your day, how to plan your day, how to plan your finances, how to plan your savings, how to plan your interview, how to get ready for let's say starting a business or going for that networking event, that sort of thing. If you're creating how to videos, remember that 49% of people are going online to research on how to do different things. 46% of people are going online to access and listen to music. 45% of people are going online to find new ideas and inspiration. Okay. 44% of people are going online to research about products and brands. 43% of people are going online to fill up spare time and for general browsing. 38% of people are going online to research about places, vacations, and travel. 36% of people are going online for education and study related purposes. 35% of people are going online to manage finances and savings. 34% of people are going online to research about health issues and healthcare products, whereas 29% of people are going online to game, and 29% of people are going online to meet new people and make new connections. So, those are the main reasons for why people are using the internet. Next, we want to find out what are some of the top sites and the top applications that people are using as they access the internet. Now, the top visited websites and mobile applications are as follows. 94% of internet users are using some type of chat or messaging application or platform. And in most cases, this is WhatsApp. So think about using WhatsApp for customer service. Think about using WhatsApp to educate your customers. Think about using WhatsApp for closing sales and conversions. Think about using WhatsApp for follow up and for referrals, for customer feedback. So, this is what people are using chat and messaging platforms for from the point of a business. But from the point of a consumer, 94% of them are already using this chat and messaging platforms. Again, 94% of internet users are already using social networks. That's why it's so important for you to be on the Facebooks, the Instagram, the TikToks. 94% of internet users are already there. 80% of internet users are going on search engines or web portals. They're going to search for things on Google, Bing, Yahoo. So it's important for your website to appear prominently when people are searching for the things that you offer. Next, we have email. 75% of people access the internet to go and access their email. So, email marketing could be a prominent way for you to market your products and services. Again, 75% of people go online, sorry, 74% of people will go online to access shopping sites, auction sites, and classified sites. Okay. 54% of people are going to go online to access maps, parking, and location-based services. 47% of people are going to go online to access music sites and apps. 43% of people are going to go online to access weather websites and apps. 41% of people are going to go online to the news sites and the news apps. 39% of people are going to go online because of banking, investment, or insurance services. 38% are going to go online for travel sites and apps. 37% are going to go online for food takeaway and delivery apps and websites. Okay. 32% of people are going to go online for gaming websites and apps, and 29% of people are going to go for business work and collaborative working websites and applications. And lastly, 26% are going to go to the sport apps and websites. So, this just shows us what are some of the most prominent websites and applications that people are using when they go online. Next, I want us to see the amount of time that people are spending weekly to access these platforms online. So, when it comes to the amount of weekly time spent consuming online media, I want us to start by looking at this white bar. The white bar at the center stands for the worldwide average amount of time that people spend every week accessing online media. So, the worldwide average is at 33 hours and 27 minutes spent weekly accessing online media. This is the average amount of time that people spend every week consuming online media. Per week, it's 33 hours, 27 minutes. But I want us to now shift our attention to the first country over here. The first country spending the most amount of time online every week is which country? You guessed it right, Kenya. Kenya spends an average of 63 hours and 34 minutes consuming online content every week. Every week. And remember, Kenya has an internet penetration of about 40%. So only 40% of the total country's population we can say is a regular internet users or are regular internet users. But still, these 40% are consuming the most amount, they're spending the most amount of time online every week consuming online media. So if you're a business based in Kenya or targeting the market in Kenya, then online marketing is something that you should strongly consider because people are already spending so much time online. Okay, so that's something that we need to observe. That's the weekly time spent consuming online media. As we now start to wrap this area of digital facts and stats up, I want us to also look at the amount of data that people are spending online. Now, let me ask you this question. How much data do you think you spend every day? How much data do you think you spend every day? Now, as you think about that, I'll give you the report findings. So, this report was able to compile and to find out that globally, when you divide the amount of data that has been used by the number of internet users, we find that every individual spends about 21 GB of data every month. Okay, so if we look at the graph here and we just try to understand the amount of data that the whole world is spending online, and we just compare two dates between quarter 2 2019, which is April, May, June 2019, and quarter 2 2025, April, May, June 2025, people shifted from spending 32 billion GB of data in 2019 to spending 180 billion GB of data in quarter 2 2025. That was the shift from 32 billion to 180 billion in a matter of about 6 years. So, what this shows is people are spending more and more data as they access the internet. More and more people are accessing the internet, but because each individual is using more and more data, it means that in our estimation, they're spending more of their data or more of their time consuming video content because video content requires more data. So it makes sense that if I was spending 3 hours last year and I was using 3 GB, and I'm spending 3 hours this year and I'm using 6 GB, then probably the type of media format that I'm consuming has moved from me consuming text content to me consuming video content. So it does make sense why the most popular media format is video content. Okay. And we are also observing the rate of growth of data use is also growing exponentially. So this is just to show us the amount of data that people are spending to access the internet every single 3 months. Okay. Next, I want us to see the mobile device operating system share of market. Now, we all love the iPhone. Okay, most of us love the iPhones, right? And as a business, when you're creating a mobile application, you're like, let me target the iPhone users. They might have more disposable income. But when you look at the share of mobile web traffic by mobile operating system, we're able to see that Android operating systems occupy 73% share of the mobile web traffic. So out of the people accessing the internet using their mobile device, 73% of them are using an Android device, 25% of them are using an iOS or an iPhone operating system, and then we have the other percentages which are less than 1%, the Samsung at 0.2%, Kaios at 0.02%, Linux at 0.01%. So the share of the web traffic by mobile is dominated by Android. So if you're creating a mobile application for your market, think Android first and then iOS next. Okay. Now, let's look at some online shopping statistics as we wrap it up to understand, are people spending online and what does that look like? So, when it comes to online weekly shopping activities, 56% of internet users aged 16 and above have said that they've purchased products or services online. So, over half of the online population has already said that we have bought things online. So, if you're a business and you're not equipping your customers with an online purchasing channel or with a channel for them to convert to buy your product or service online, then you're already missing out. 28% of internet users have said that they've ordered for groceries via online stores. 12% of internet users have bought a second-hand item via online stores. 20% of internet users have used online price comparison services, and 15% of internet users now use buy now pay later services. So even having flexible payment plans on your website can help you to close more customers. Next, I want us to see what inspires these people to buy online. What is the trigger that gets people to buy online? Now, when it comes to online purchase drivers, what gets people to buy online? 50% of online buyers say that they were convinced to buy because of free delivery. 39% of internet buyers or shoppers will buy because of coupons and discounts. 32% of internet buyers or online shoppers will buy because of customer reviews. 31% of customers will buy online because of easy return policy. 28% of internet shoppers will buy because of next day delivery. 27% of internet shoppers will be convinced to buy because of a simple online checkout. Now, why does your checkout system ask me where am I located? Who am I employed under? What's my manager's name? Where were they born? I don't know what's my ID number. A checkout system does not have to have all those things. In fact, having a simple online checkout will convince 27% of internet shoppers to buy from you. Okay. Next thing, loyalty points. Do you have a loyalty program for your business? Do you offer loyalty points? Well, loyalty points will convince 25% of online shoppers to buy from you. Social likes and comments will convince 22% of online shoppers to buy from you. Eco-friendly credentials will convince 18% of online shoppers to buy from you. Interest-free payments will convince 16% of shoppers to buy from you. Cash on delivery will convince 16.1% of people to buy from you. Influencer recommendations will only convince 15% of online shoppers to buy from you. So you'd rather even take the cost of delivery, add it into the cost of the product, and then offer free delivery, which will help you convert 50% of online shoppers as opposed to influencer recommendations that will get you 15%. I'm not saying don't deal with influencers. I'm saying if there's a better way for you to convert, employ both. Why not? And then click and collect will convince 13.9% of online shoppers to buy. Guest checkout, where I can check out without leaving my details. Just tell me, pay via M-Pesa, enter your number, you prompt me, I enter the PIN and I've paid. Guest checkouts will convince 13% of online shoppers to buy. And exclusive content or services will convince 13% of shoppers to buy. So that is what we are talking about when you talk about online purchase drivers. Next, I want us to look at the next section you'll be looking at, which is the e-commerce consumer market. What is the size of this market and is it growing or shrinking? So in 2020, we had an e-commerce market where consumers spent $2.2 trillion. By 2025, that market had almost doubled to $3.6 trillion. So, when it comes to e commerce, this market is constantly growing. And it's upon you to identify how can you become part of this market? How can you grasp this opportunity and become part of the people who are earning from that 3.6 trillion consumer spend on e-commerce platforms? Lastly, I want us to look at an overview of some of the digital facts and stats and key trends for 2026. Number one, screen breaks are trending among kids. So, kids are being taught that mental health matters and it's important for you to take breaks in between using your screen. So, kids are learning and are embracing taking breaks from their devices. The second trend is digital banks are on the move. So digital banks have been quietly building critical mass. The share of consumers on Revolut is up 68% since 2022. And in places where fewer legacy banks are positioned, like Brazil, South Africa, then digital banking is surging ahead and influencing other markets. In Mexico alone, engagement with Brazil's Nubank app has jumped 83% since 2022. So people are preferring digital banks as opposed to the legacy banks that we used to have. Number three, AI gaps are now closing. So the gap between the early adopters and the early majority adopters is now closing. More and more people are adopting AI and it's becoming a common trend. Number four is Threads is having a moment. Threads is the sister app to Instagram. But Threads is moving out of the shadows and into mainstream. Usage is accelerating among agender consumers and professionals like baristas and fitness trainers who are tapping into it for work related networking and visibility. And lastly, immersive gaming is also growing. We've seen that outside China, half of the 12 to 15-year-old gamers now play Roblox each month. Okay, so we can see that immersive gaming is growing, and that can be a way for you to also market your brand, for you to reach new customers, for you to target particular group of customers who might be the young people, that sort of thing. So with that, we come to the end of this section, this part one, where we are talking about digital trends and we are talking about the digital reality, the stats and the trends. Now that we've been able to look at what is the digital reality and the digital landscape, and you have an understanding of how things are growing, how things are shifting, the next thing I want us to look at is the digital business model. So we all have a product or a service that we want to sell. And that's why we're in this webinar today. But before you sell this product, let's say this is the product that you want to sell, a branded water bottle for corporates. Before you sell this product, you need somewhere where the corporate can pay for you to offer this service or product to them. So you need to have a checkout system or a checkout point or a payment point or a payment system. Okay. So that now when I pay for this mug, now you can deliver the product to me. So there's a product, there's the payment checkout system. Above the payment checkout system, you need to have what you call an information system or an information center. So an information center is now like your website, your mobile application, can be your WhatsApp contact. So basically, it's where I'm going to get information about, oh, we have this variety of branded mugs or water bottles. We usually brand them in these particular colors. It takes this amount of time to brand. It costs this amount of money. We are located in this area. We have served these customers before. So basically, I need to be informed about this product before I decide I want to buy it. So for you as a business, you need an information center where you inform me about the product. You need a checkout system or a checkout point where I can pay for this product. And then you need distribution system that will get this product from your store to my office. So those are the three critical business model framework that you need. that is not digital. That is kwanza just a business model framework. You need to have an information center, a checkout point, and the product or service that you're distributing, and now the distribution system. Those three are critical. You can't run a business without those three. Now, where does digital come in? Comes in helping you to get interested customers into that information center. And those interested customers, we call them the leads. But before they become leads, they are what you call traffic. So traffic is just visitors who are interested, but you have not qualified them as potential customers. So let me give you an example. For you to have attended this webinar, you must have seen the poster to this webinar somewhere. So let's say I put out that poster, and that poster was able to get the attention of 2,000 people. So 2,000 people see the poster and they're like, oh, this is interesting. Maybe not for me, maybe for me. So let's say that 1,000 people decided this poster is not for me. Whereas 1,000 people decided this poster could be for me. There's something that is of value here I could gain. Okay. So I've already gained a reach. Reach is how many people have seen that poster. That is what I mean by reach. So my poster has reached 2,000 people. But out of the 2,000, 1,000 are the one who are interested. Now, my goal is to get as many of those 1,000 contacts as is possible. That is where now I transform traffic to lead. Did you get that understanding? So my reach has gotten me to 2,000 people. Out of that reach, I have gotten a traffic of 1,000 people who are like, okay, this sounds interesting. Let me check them out. So reach is 2,000 people. They have seen my poster. 1,000 people could not be interested to save their life, but 1,000 people are interested. So these 1,000 people, they are my traffic. Now, this traffic comes to the next stage, which is maybe let's say my Google form. I ask them, if you're interested in this webinar, sign up using this link. Go to our Google form, leave your details there. We'll send you more information about the webinar. So let's say these 1,000 people go to my Google form. But let's say not all of them have the time to fill out the form. So let's say 500 of them fill out the form. Okay. So out of my reach of 2,000 people, I have a traffic of 1,000 people going to my Google form. Out of the traffic of 1,000 people going to my Google form, I have 500 leads who've signed up. So, do you see now the difference even in terminology? The reach is 2,000 people. They've seen my poster. But how many of them would be interested? 1,000. That's the traffic. The number of interested parties is 1,000. That's my traffic. Okay. So now let me move to the next slide, which is now showcasing the traffic. So, the digital business model, how every online business actually makes money. So, I'm giving you the sample of my business. And I've said that I've taken a poster about my event, I've put my poster out there. My poster has reached 2,000 people. But out of the 2,000, only 1,000 are interested. This 1,000 come to my Google form. So, this means that I have a traffic of 1,000 people moving into my Google form or moving into my website or moving into my landing page where they can leave the information and then I send them more details about the webinar. So I have a traffic of 1,000 people. The 1,000 people come to my Google form, but let's say some of them they get distracted, some of them they don't have enough time, some of them they don't have enough courage to fill that form, some of them maybe there's some missing information they're going to confirm and then they forget. So 500 people out of the traffic of 1,000 fill in my Google form. So my Google form shows that 500 respondents have given you their data. So now that is no longer traffic. Those 500 are now leads. Okay. They are leads. Why? Because they have a need. They themselves have identified they have a need. They have the authority to come for the webinar. That's how they've been able to sign up. They have some money, but because this webinar is free, then they don't need to pay anything. And they have the eligibility. They're a founder, they're an entrepreneur. So they've seen how this webinar will affect them positively. And they've seen, then I'm eligible to sign up for this webinar. So with a traffic of 1,000, I have 500 leads. Okay. So I organize a webinar, a beautiful webinar, and I send 500 emails to the respondents. I tell them, come on Saturday at 10 a.m. I'm going to train you about digital marketing. It's going to help your business to grow. You're going to learn how to create content, and you're going to come up with a digital strategy for your business. Okay. So I'm nurturing them. I'm inviting them to this webinar so that I educate them, I inform them, I advise them, I entertain them with a few jokes, and then by the end of it all, they are ready now to listen to another offer that I have. So let's say that I now conduct the webinar, the 2-hour webinar on a Saturday. It's a free webinar. So out of the 500 emails I sent people inviting them to the webinar, let's say 300 people came to the webinar. 200 got their schedules changed, they became busy, they were not able to attend the webinar. So in the webinar, I have 300 participants. Now, what am I doing in the webinar? I'm nurturing these 300 participants. They are leads, but I want them to become warm leads. I want them to warm up to the idea of buying from me. So I need them to like me. I need them to know me. I need them to trust me. So I am educating them. I am informing them. I'm advising them. I'm showing them the trust factors they need to know so that they can trust me. I'm letting them know who am I, where am I located, who have I served before, what products and services do I offer, what is the quality of value I provide. This is all nurturing. I am nurturing these people. Remember, none of them have paid me at this point. They are attending the webinar for free. Yeah. So I train them throughout the webinar, and by the end of the webinar, I tell them, wow, so we've learned about the digital trends, we've learned about how to create content, we've learned about the digital strategy. Now, if you want to learn how to practically create content for your business using a tool like Canva, then I have a workshop, a physical, practical workshop. You can come to this workshop. I'll show you hands on how to create a poster on Canva and post it on Instagram. So if you want to attend this workshop, it only goes for 5,000 shillings. You can sign up today, and next week on Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., I'll be conducting a physical practical workshop which you can attend. So let's say out of the 300 people who have attended the webinar, 30 of them are like, oh, you know what? Actually, this sounds like a good idea. I am ready to actually go for this webinar. I have been struggling to create content and I already have a business, or I have a new social media manager or create content creator who would love this training. So let me sign them up for this training next week. Okay. So out of the 300 people who attended the webinar, who have nurtured, let's say 30 of them are ready to convert. They're ready to pay an amount, and that will transform them from being a visitor to being a customer. That is what we mean by conversion. Okay, so conversion can look like different things to different people. If I'm a consultant, conversion can be someone booking a consultation, it can be someone signing a contract, it can be someone paying a deposit, it can be someone paying the full amount. If I'm selling a product, conversion looks like someone paying a deposit, someone confirming the purchase through a contract, someone sending an LPO, someone paying for that particular product. Okay. If it's a mobile application, it could be someone downloading that application, someone signing up and creating an account and starting to use that banking application. So conversion looks like different things to different people. But essentially, it's the process of converting someone who's a visitor or a lead to someone who's a customer who's bought from you. Okay. So I've taken the traffic of 1,000 people to the Google form. I've gotten 500 leads or 500 contacts from the Google form. I've invited them to be nurtured on my webinar where I've nurtured 300 people. And out of the 300 people who I've nurtured, 30 are ready to buy. I've converted those 30. And everyone who I convert, I aim to deliver or to serve. So I'm able to serve or to deliver the training to those 30 people. So that is the digital business model that I want you to understand. Okay. It starts with reach. You create your reach out there, and then that reach brings traffic into your information center. The traffic that you get, you're supposed to capture as many contacts as possible from that traffic. Those contacts are now what you call the leads. Okay. These leads that you have, they don't know you yet, they don't know your product, they don't know your service, they don't know your quality offering. So you need to train them, you need to educate them, you need to nurture them, you need to make them warm up to the idea of buying from you by understanding you, knowing who you are, liking you, trusting you, seeing what you've done before, and understanding what they'll gain from this. And once you've nurtured them, you want now to convert them. You want to get them to buy from you. And as they buy from you, you deliver whatever they've bought from you. So let's look at each of these steps in a little more detail as we move quite quickly. Step number one is traffic. We've already talked about that. You're trying to get attention. You're trying to get your reach or your content to reach as many people as possible to gain their attention and then to bring them back to your information center. So where do your customers first discover you? Traffic is how people find you through content. Maybe you have a YouTube channel. So I've seen a YouTube video of you. Now I'm coming back to your website. Okay. Maybe it's content on social media. I've seen a post you've posted on Instagram, brought me to the Google form or brought me to your website. Okay. Number two, adverts. You can launch an ad or you can set up an ad on Google, on social media, etc. Number three, you can get traffic from referrals. So someone who you served before tells their neighbor, hey, this guy does really good digital marketing training. If you're struggling or if you have new stuff, just go over to Jonathan Thuo. He'll be able to help you out. That is traffic from referrals. Cold calls. Maybe you've gone online, you've seen there's this company called Synapis. It deals with entrepreneurs, and there's a whole directory of businesses that they work with. Can I go to that business directory and call each of those businesses up one by one? That's cold calling. And by doing so, I can introduce myself, and whoever is interested in digital marketing training for their team, they can become part of my traffic. Networking. I'm going for conferences, seminars, events, BNI, networking. I'm meeting new people. I'm going for all these activities. I'm introducing myself. I'm getting new business cards. And this details, this data brings more attention into my traffic or into my traffic funnel. So basically, all these are sources of traffic. And we're going to look at how you can increase your reach out there so that you get more traffic coming in. But remember, it's not just enough to get that traffic. The second step is you need to capture the data of as many people as possible from this traffic pool that you've created. Okay. So, how do you turn attention into a contact? Once people discover you, you must capture them. This happens through WhatsApp, it happens through website landing pages, it happens through sign up forms, and more channels. If you don't capture the contacts, then you will lose these leads. So, traffic is good, but you need to send this traffic to an information center, which can be your WhatsApp, it can be website, it can be a Google form, and then you collect their data. It's important for you to collect data and to do that ethically so that now later you can start the process of nurturing or building a relationship with this person. So we say that when you take traffic and you send it to in the information center and you're able to capture the data, then you've captured that lead. It's no longer traffic, it's now a lead. It's now a lead. Okay. So now that you have that lead, you want to transform it from a cold lead to a warm lead. A cold lead might know about the event, the webinar, but a warm lead now knows about my content creation workshop and they're ready to buy from me. So, how do I take you from you've just signed up to a Google form to now you know the digital marketing training quality that I offer and you want it for your team? That comes to the third stage, which is nurturing. Building trust before the sale. Most people will not buy immediately. In fact, most people, we say in sales that most people will buy within the fifth, the sixth, or the seventh interaction. Okay. So you need to educate your people. You need to engage these leads that you've gotten. You need to build trust through content, through messages, through follow ups. You need to build a relationship with these people even before you ask them to buy. Okay. So remember, people buy or do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. So, how can you become known to these leads? you share with them information, you share with them content, you share with them material like checklists and guides and all that. Okay, how can they get to like you? Okay, so you share with them entertaining content behind the scenes, you share with them your engagements with other customers, that sort of thing. How can they get to trust you? You show them customer testimonials, other customers who you've served who've loved your service and products. You show them awards that you've won, you show them the different milestones that you've achieved as a business. And as you do this, you are building trust. The trust meter is rising, the trust factor is rising. And now this lead is no longer a cold lead, this lead is now becoming a warm lead. As someone becomes a warm lead, now how do you turn that interest into payment? Make it easy for people to buy. Okay, that's the fundamental rule when it comes to helping people to buy more. Make it easy for them to buy. So have clear offers, have simple pricing, have return policies, have guest checkout options. We've seen how many people are able to convert online just because there's a guest checkout option. Have convenient payment systems like M-Pesa to increase the conversions. So remember, up to 50% of internet shoppers will be persuaded to buy because of free delivery. So have those options, run those campaigns, run those offers that will get that warm lead to finally take action, to convert. Call them to action. Hi, we have a 10% discount on your first purchase. If you buy before the 15th of this month, you'll be able to get that discount. Hi, we have a bulk purchase discount. If you buy more than 10 units of this particular product, we're going to give you a wholesale price. So have these offers, have these price simple pricing mechanisms, have the call to action that will get people to convert easily. Okay, but always remember, you need a M-Pesa point of sale, you need an online cart, you need a checkout system, in short, that will help you to convert that visitor into a customer. What is that checkout system? Is it an online cart? Is it an M-Pesa point of sale? Is it a booking calendar? Is it a signed contract? What is it? Because that is what is supposed to convert that warm lead into a customer, or to give you a conversion or a payment confirmation. What is that? What is that you need? How can you make it easy for the customer to convert? That is what you mean by conversion. Finally, delivery. Turning excitement into loyalty. You need to make sure that you deliver on your promise. Understand what improves customer satisfaction or delight and prioritize that. By focusing on customer satisfaction and routinizing feedback, you will turn first time customers into repeat purchasers and loyal clients and brand advocates. So, if you deliver well, the customers are going to be so excited. They're going to send you more referrals. They're going to come back and buy again. They're going to buy even more from you. Okay. And that's what you want. It costs you less to keep a customer than to get a new customer. So if you can keep the customers you already have by giving them good service, by doing follow up, by getting their feedback and understanding what did we do well, what didn't we do well, we can improve on. Would you recommend us to a friend or a family? Could you please give us that contact so that we can reach out to them? Routinize getting feedback from your customers so that you can see what to improve, what to drop, how to get the next customer to be more delighted. And if the customer is delighted, they'll come back, they'll buy again. I'll come back and buy this mug again as a gift for a friend. I'll come back and buy 10 of these for my company members. I'll come back tomorrow and tell my best friend that he can buy this mug for their girlfriend's birthday. So essentially, I'll be coming for repurchases. I'll be buying more. I'll be sending customers your way, and that makes me a salesperson on your team who you never need to pay. I become a free salesperson. And what business would not like that? So if you're able to deliver well, that is also part of your marketing and your sales strategy to get more customers in the future. Okay. Now let's wrap it all up. The real problem. Why marketing doesn't work. Most businesses focus only on content and you ignore this system. You're always churning out content on Instagram, on Instagram, on Instagram, everyday content, content, content. But those that attention you're getting on Instagram, you're not leading that traffic to a place where you can capture their contacts and they can become leads. And then you're not nurturing these leads to a point where they can understand about your business and they can become warm leads. And then you're not calling these warm leads to action so that they can become customers. And then you're not taking precision care to deal with the customers you already have so that they can bring you more customers in the future. If you understand this system, if you focus on this system, then you can see your business grow. Without a full journey, attention does not turn into revenue. So always remember, it starts with you get your reach brings traffic. The traffic you're going to convert and to get their contacts. And once you get the contact of the traffic, they become a lead. These leads, you need to nurture them so that they become warm leads. And then the warm leads, you need to convert them so that they become customers. And the customers that you have, you need to serve them well so that they become advocates and loyal repeat customers. So that is what that system looks like. Okay. From traffic to leads, from leads to nurturing, from nurturing to conversion, from conversion to delivery. Okay. Amazing. So we come to the end of section part 2 of section 1. Now I want us to look at part 3 of section 1, which is the digital reach strategies. So we've talked about traffic, but how do you build traffic? How do you get the right traffic? What are the strategies that you use to build the momentum of traffic that you're getting? So that now I'm getting, instead of 1,000 people coming to sign the Google form, to fill the Google form, I have 2,000, I have 5,000, I have 10,000, I have 20,000. How can I grow that reach? That is what you're looking at now, the digital reach strategies. So, as we look at the digital reach strategies, it's important for us to remind ourselves what we've just mentioned about the customer. Not everyone is going to be your customer. We usually say that you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. And if you are, then you're the mug. No one wants to be used as a mug is. So not everyone is going to be your customer. In fact, as a digital marketer, when I ask you as an entrepreneur or as a business owner, who is your customer? There's only one wrong answer. There's only one wrong answer. And that wrong answer is everyone or anyone. That is the only wrong answer you can have, by the way. Because not everyone is going to be your customer. Why? A good lead or a good prospect or a good potential customer has the following characteristics. Number one, they have a need. They have a problem that needs a solution. They have a problem that needs solving. And your solution is what they need for their problem. So they have a need. Number two, they have authority. They can make or influence the decision to buy. If you're talking to someone who cannot make the decision to buy, they don't have the authority to make that purchase. If you're talking to someone at a company and they're telling you, oh, those decisions are made by our accountant, or that decision is made by our CFO, or that decision is made by HR, you're not talking to the right person with the authority you need to make that decision. So you need to find the person with the right authority. Number three is money. If you ever talk to a prospective customer and they tell you, I don't have a budget, oh, lo, 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 that's not a customer. That's not a prospective customer. Just wash your hands and leave them, because this person cannot buy from you. At the end of the day, you want someone who can buy from you. So money to afford your solution is very important. And lastly, eligibility to buy your product or service. Does the solution you offer meet the problem that they have? Is it compatible with the problem that they have? Otherwise, they are not eligible to buy. If I'm selling you digital marketing training content, and for you the problem you're having is you have a new camera, or you have a new machine that people don't understand how to use in your business, then what you need is not digital marketing training, it's equipment training. So you're not eligible to buy digital marketing training from me, even if you have the need, the authority, and the money, because you're not eligible. It's not the solution for your problem. Okay. So eligibility, they match your product or service criteria. Okay. So now let's look at how you get your customers online. So there are four main ways to generate traffic online. Your job is to choose the right mix based on your stage. A business should not rely on one particular channel. So there are so many digital marketing tools, but I've boiled them down into these four particular channels or four particular buckets, where you can now choose your strategy from each of these four channels. But remember, it's not advised for you as a business to just focus on one channel, you need to have at least two or three of these particular channels. So the first channel is content marketing. You're creating content for your social media, you're creating content for your email newsletters and your email marketing campaigns. You're creating content for your website, whether through the blog articles so that now Google can notice you better, or you're creating content that AI will notice so that it can list you more prominently when people are searching for the product you're selling. That is GEO. You could also be creating long format video, that is podcasts, that is vlogs on YouTube, etc. That is what we mean by content marketing. So let's say that Dasani has invited me to sell their water through content marketing. Content marketing is not about pushing a hard sell. It's about educating, it's about informing, it's about advising your particular target customers. So let's say that I've been invited by Dasani to be a content marketer. What I'm going to be writing on those blog articles is, did you know that if you want to have clear, glossy, shiny skin, all you need to do is just, that's right, drink water regularly. If you want to have beautiful nails, strong, healthy nails, you just need to hydrate regularly. If you want that strong, healthy, shiny hair that does not break off when you're combing it, then you just need to have water. If you want clear bowel movement, you've been having gut problems and you want to reduce that, all you need to do is to hydrate regularly. If you want, say, a good blood pressure, if you want to maintain a good blood pressure, you've been going to the gym and you need to have a good blood pressure, then all you need to do is regularly hydrate. And so, if you're interested in buying water today, feel free to check out our website. You can find out where you can order our water and we'll deliver it to your doorstep. So, that is very different from telling you we have half a liter of water going for 30 bob. We have 1 liter of water going for 50 bob. We have 2 liters of water going for 100 bob. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not hard selling. I'm advising you, I'm informing you, I'm educating you, I'm entertaining you. That is content marketing. Okay. Number two, we have paid advertising or paid ads. You can advertise on Google, social media, radio, TV, or even influencer. Number three, you have direct sales. Cold outreach. You are either reaching out to people via calls or via emails, people who've never heard from you before. That is cold outreach. You're going for physical events, the CEO breakfast, the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce events, the conferences. You're networking physically. You are going for the webinars, the virtual master classes. You're networking virtually. That is networking. You're doing door to door marketing. You're going to a building starting on the 12th floor, going all the way to ground floor, talking to each business. Hi, my name is Jonathan Thuo. I offer digital marketing training under Crenovate Technologies. Would you like us to train your digital marketing team today? So, door to door marketing. And you also have direct messaging. So, you go to LinkedIn and you find, hire, I'm targeting managers from this particular company. Let me get their email or let me just send them a message in their inbox, in their direct message. That is direct sales. And lastly, we have referrals, affiliate marketing. Hi guys, thank you for watching my YouTube channel. If you've liked this product I was reviewing today, just feel free to click on the link in the description and you can get it from their website. That's affiliate marketing. As the seller of this water, when people see that content creator and they are directed to my shop and they buy, I give them a commission. That's affiliate marketing. We also have word of mouth marketing. Hi guys, let me tell you something. Last week I attended this digital marketing training. It was so illuminating. Guys, please, the next webinar, don't miss out. Okay? That's word of mouth marketing. So let's look at each of these in detail and what you can do and when you should use it. Now, starting with content marketing. Content marketing is the long-term growth engine, is what you call the long-term growth engine. Content builds trust, it builds authority, and it also builds inbound leads. Inbound leads means that people are now the ones who are reaching out to you asking you, hey, I saw your content on YouTube. Do you do digital marketing training? I'd like some for my team. I'm not the one reaching out to them, they're the one reaching out to me because they've seen my content online. This is the most sustainable way to grow in today's digital landscape. Here are some types of content you can create. The first category is educational and value based content, how to guides and tutorials, how to use water for baking, how to carry water when you're going to the gym, how to pack water so that maybe it doesn't get warm if it's cold, or it doesn't lose temperature if it's warm, how to use water to make tea, how to use water to make coffee, that sort of thing. So how to guides and tutorials. Number two, industry tips and best practice posts. So what are some of the industry tips when it comes to drinking water? We usually advise people to drink at least 2 liters of water a day, all the way to 6 liters of water a day, depending on how busy you are, depending on how much you're sweating. It's important for you to understand that you need a minimum of 2 liters of water every single day. It's an industry tip. Number three, explainer videos breaking down complex topics, So something like electrolytes. We've been told that dehydration is not just about losing water, you're also losing salt. Now, how do you replenish the salt that you've lost in your body? You can drink water, yes, but you can also add a sachet of electrolytes so that you replenish the electrolytes you lost through sweating. So electrolytes are these salts that you have in your body, and when you sweat, you reduce the amount of electrolytes. When you take ORS that you can get in your local chemist, you increase the number of electrolytes. You can also just take some salt that will improve the number of electrolytes. So I've explained this complex concept of electrolytes and how to replenish them. The fourth type of educational video you can create is, or educational content you can create is, frequently asked questions addressing common customer pain points. So customers are always asking, do you deliver countrywide? Yes, create content around that. Do you accept cash on delivery? You can create content around that. So the frequently asked questions is content for you. The second category of content you can create is engagement and community based content, the polls and the questions that you can send to people so that they engage with you. If you bought this mug today, would you put coffee in it? Would you put tea in it? If you bought this mug today, would you give it as a gift, or would you use it as your own personal tool when you're going to the office? If you got this today, would you have it in your car, or would you have it in your gym bag? That sort of thing. So polls, get to know people's and input, opinions. How would they use your product? If it's peanut butter, there are people who are using it for spreading. There are people who are using it for baking. There are people who are using it in their smoothie. So, how do you use our peanut butter? The polls, the questions, they get you to engage with your customers. Number two, behind the scenes content showing your processes and your team. Okay, we want to see who's this guy who's always creating content that we see on Instagram. It's Marie. We can see Marie. She wears New Balance shoes. Kumbe, she's a human just like me. Amazing. So I know this company exists. I know they have a team. I know someone from that team. Okay. The next thing is user generated content and customer spotlights. One of my favorite YouTube channels today is Kurugenzi on YouTube, Abel Mutua. And one of the things he's been doing lately is spotlighting some of his top customers every week. So this inspires other customers. You're like, I want to spend more so that I become the top customer and I'm spotlit next week. Or I really like the fact that someone was spotlit last week. Let me also just join into the race. So let me buy something from these guys. So essentially, it's something that can convince future customers to buy because they've seen past customers being delighted through your customer spotlight. But also, if now you tell us, hey, you bought shoes from my business last week, just show me a picture of you wearing those shoes in maybe 2 3 different outfits. I'd love to share that with people so that they can see how to pair these shoes with different outfits. So that is user generated content. It's content that showcases to other users, by the way, there are customers who bought from this business before, and this is the value they've gotten. Okay. Lastly, challenges or interactive campaigns. Get people to do certain things. Tell them that, hey, you can sign up to our website and then you take a photo holding your mug that you bought from us, and you stand a chance to win some goodies from us. Or you can take that photo, tag a friend, the person who has the most number of tags will win something. So have those challenges, have those interactive campaigns so that you create the engagement with your potential customers. Number three, social proof and trust content. Customer testimonials and success stories are so important because they help future customers see that, by the way, previous customers have gotten delight from this business. So you can actually consider buying from them or purchasing from them. It builds trust. Number two, before and after case studies. Showcasing me before the water bottle where my lips are dry, and now I have the new water bottle and my lips are always moist and hydrated. My skin looks good. I don't have those ashy, scaly skin. I have smooth, glowing skin. The before and after case studies. Very important. Next, the reviews and rating highlights. So, what reviews are you getting? For example, from my training classes, I get reviews between 4.8 and 5 out of all my classes. By the way, my average is usually above 4.5 out of 5. So, these ratings are some of the ratings that can help future customers build trust in me. When I tell you, by the way, I won an Academy Trainer of the Year award in 2024, it helps you to build more trust in me, as I tell you that by then I've been a corporate trainer for over 11 years, and I've even won an award. So it helps you to build trust in my brand. It helps you to build trust in me. Next, milestones and business achievements. We've been in operation for 5 years. That's why businesses celebrate birthdays. That's why businesses celebrate, oh, we got an award from this particular Marketing Association of Kenya. Marketing Society of Kenya said we had the best advertisement campaign last year. So why do businesses share these milestones? To build trust and visibility and authority within their industry. Lastly, when it comes to content marketing, the fourth type of market content you should create is conversion or promotional content. Are you launching a new product? Do you have now blue water bottles instead of just black? Let us know. Do you have limited time offers and promotional campaigns? Let us know. Maybe if we buy products between the 1st and the 10th of every month, we get a discount or a commission, that sort of thing. Free resources and lead magnets. Do you have a checklist? So here is a 30 unit or a 30 item checklist that you would love, that you will help you to make sure that you have everything before your next travel or before your next trip. So you're a tours and travel company, you are trying to see how you can be able to get your traffic to give you contacts so that they become leads. What are you giving them? A free checklist. This is your next packing checklist to make sure you don't forget anything when you go for that amazing family trip. Here's the checklist. Get it for free. Just leave us with your email address or your WhatsApp number, and we'll send this checklist to you free of charge. Those are the free resources that you can give people to help you as a business to get their contacts. Okay. Lastly, a webinar or an event invitation with clear call to action. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are having a free webinar where we'll be talking about the top 10 travel destinations in Kenya. So, if you're planning your Easter trip, you're planning your mid-year vacation, your summer vacations, guys, just come and attend this webinar. We'll give you the tips that you need to know. And if you want to book a trip after this, feel free to reach out to us after that. Content marketing, ladies and gentlemen, those are the types of content you can create. Next, we have paid advertising. Paid advertising offers you speed but requires proof. So it's good for you to start with content marketing and then now go to paid advertising. So it helps you to reach the right people at the right time with the right message. Digital advertising allows you to put your business in front of a targeted audience beyond your organic reach. Unlike traditional advertising, digital ads give you precise control over who sees your content, how much you spend, and what results you measure. What types of ads can you consider? Number one, social media ads. These are paid promotions on platforms like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok, targeting people by age, location, interest, and even behavior. You can also advertise on Google search ads, which appear to potential customers when they are actively searching for what you offer on these search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, etc. The third type of advertisement is display or banner ads. I'm sure you've been on a news site like Business Daily or Daily Nation, and when you're browsing through the article, you see, hiya, CIC Insurance. What are you doing in the middle of an article on Daily Nation's website? That is a display ad. That is a banner ad. You're going to YouTube to watch Mkurugenzi. Before you watch him, you see an advert by Uber. That is a display ad. So visual ads placed across websites your audience browses. So that is display of banner ads. The fourth type of ad is influencer paid partnerships. So you pay creators with aligned audiences to promote your brand. And lastly, number five, boosted posts. You've posted organically for 1 month without promoting anything. You've seen, hey, on date 15, this post did really well. In fact, better than all the other posts. Then you can amplify that content that is already performing well organically. So those are the types of paid advertising. But remember, when you're starting out a business, don't just rush for the paid advertising because it's a shortcut. People will not trust you. Before I consume and trust your ad, I want to see something else that is not advertisement based. So create content normally, organically, and even when you run the ads, when I come back to your page, I can see, they've been creating content for a whole month. It's not that this is the first content that they've created and it's an advertisement. So advertisement works well with content marketing, but a bit later on. Okay. Next, we have direct sales, the most underrated growth strategy, showing up and having real conversations. Now, if your business involves a business model where you sell products and services to other businesses, then most likely you have sales agents or salespeople. So, direct sales means proactively reaching out to potential customers rather than waiting for them to find you. So, you have a sales team going out every day to look for new customers. It is personal, it is targeted, and when done well, could produce some of the highest quality conversions of any channel. Because business to business type of products and services are very complicated, then they need a salesperson to explain that. So, by building those personal relationships, it's much easier for customers to convert as opposed to just seeing an advert online and they can't get more information about it. Okay? So, ways to execute direct sales: networking at events, attend conferences, seminars, workshops, and industry meetups where your ideal customers already gather. Number two, direct outreach via WhatsApp or LinkedIn. So you personalize messages and send those messages to prospects who fit your target profile. Number three, discovery calls, short, structured conversations designed to understand a prospect's need and present your solution. Hi, my name is Jonathan Thuo. I'm calling you today from Crenovate Technologies. We're located in Westlands, Nairobi, Kenya. I was able to see your business on LinkedIn, and I'm just reaching out because I can see that you are able to hire a new social media manager. I'd just like to know whether this is someone who you'd like to have them trained on digital marketing. And if this is something that would be of interest to you, we can schedule a longer call next week where we can just talk around 30 minutes or thereabout, where we can have a conversation on this training, what it would have, what impact it would have on your team, and what expectations we should expect from that team once they've gone through the training. So those are discovery calls. Okay. We also have in-person visits, so walking into the business or offices relevant to your offer, and we also have speaking engagements, positioning yourself as an expert at events where you can pitch from the stage. Why does this work? Remember, people buy from people they trust. So direct sales builds that trust faster than any algorithm. Okay? So that's direct sales. It can be very energy consuming or very intensive, labor intensive. Okay? So it's good to pair this up with another strategy as well. So maybe you are doing direct sales as well as content marketing, or you're doing direct sales with referrals. So direct sales should not just be a one-off strategy. You should pair it up with a strategy from another channel. And then lastly, referrals. Your happiest customers are your most powerful sales team. Imagine having a sales team that you don't need to pay. These are your most happiest customers. So a referral happens when a customer or someone who has experienced your product or service recommends you to someone in their network. It is the highest form of lead generation because the recommendation comes with inbuilt credibility from a source the prospect already trusts. So if someone else, if let's say I say that, hey, Jane, my friend, I have just bought this water bottle from company A and I loved it. It came very well wrapped. It was in a nice box. It even had a handwritten note saying thank you for buying from us. By the way, if you want to buy this as a gift for someone, I really recommend it. Okay, so if you want a gift for your husband or your partner next month, just go to company A and buy this from them. So for Jane, there's inbuilt trust in company A based on what I've told them, based on my trust in company A. So how do you generate and grow referrals? Number one, deliver exceptional experiences. The foundation of every referral is a customer who genuinely felt the value of what you offered. So If the customer expectation is here, surpass that customer expectation. Always surpass the customer expectations. Do something that will improve on that customer delight. That is what will make that experience exceptional. Number two, ask directly. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals. Hi, my name is Jonathan Thuo. I know you attended the webinar and you really loved it. We have another webinar coming up in a month. Is there someone you think would be interested in this webinar? Feel free to share their contacts with me and I'll reach out to them. Thank you. After a successful interaction, simply ask, do you know anyone else who would benefit from this? Please share their contacts with us. Ask directly, okay? Number three, build a referral incentive system. Okay, reward customers who refer others with discounts, free sessions, or even exclusive access. So this is like a loyalty program for people who send you referrals, a referral incentive program. For example, Synapis, one of the organizations I work with, they have a referral incentive program because they have entrepreneur training programs. When you recommend an entrepreneur for that program and they pay for the training, you actually get a commission. Okay, that's a referral incentive program. Number four, we have affiliate marketing. You get some partners, you give those partners a unique link or a code and offer a commission for every paying customer they bring in. So I'm sure you've seen those customer content creators or influencers online who are always referring or recommending certain things. So they'll tell you, oh, guys, there's this new tripod stand that has an AI feature that will follow you around. Guys, I bought this last week. It has really helped my content creation game to go to the next level. And you can get this today from Lenny Ventures, goes for this amount of money. Just click on the link in the description and you'll get this product. Now, if that person goes to that company and they buy that product using the link I gave them, the company can notice, this customer came from this particular link and this link was given to this partner. So the commission attributed this sale will go to this partner. That is affiliate marketing. And lastly, having a WhatsApp broadcast list or an email database or a broadcast list. Stay consistently present with past clients so that you remain top of mind when referral opportunities arise. So always stay in touch with the past customers. Keep updating them every quarter. What are you dealing with? What do you have in store? What is coming up in the next quarter, what should they have their eye out on, so something like that. So with that, we have covered the four different channels that you can use to generate traffic. And you've said the first one is content marketing, the second one is adverts, the third one is direct outreach or sales, and the fourth one is referrals. With that, we come to the end of part three of the first section of this video. And so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to pause and end this video at this point, and then we're going to continue with part two of this video in the next part two of this webinar in the next video. So check out for the next part two coming up shortly. Thank you.